Hey guys, it's Frankie Martinez with How to Tile Like a Pro, and today I'm going to show you how to cut a circular mosaic into a tile floor. So what you see here is we have this drawing, and it's regular straight set tile, but what you see is there's a circular mosaic that has to be installed here. And what I'm showing you here is what we're going to do is we set the whole floor already. The whole straight layout is already set. We're setting the floor, and the easiest way to do it is to set the floor first. Then we're going to draw the radius on the already set tile, cut it out with a grinder, and it's going to be a lot easier, faster, perfect. The cuts are going to be perfect. Since it's already set, you don't have any problems with the tiles moving as you cut the little pieces. As long as you're really good with a grinder, you got a good handle on it. And I just bought this new blade specifically for this project. It's the best blade I know of. It's a Barranca blade, smoothest cuts, really smooth. So you're gonna see, we're gonna cut this porcelain. It's not gonna look rugged, it's gonna look nice and smooth. So we're gonna go ahead and check it out. If you notice here, we got on this plan, the radius, it's calling for 8 inches on the inside, 9.5 on the outside. So what I did is I got my center point here. I put a little nail right in the middle of that grout joint where it's supposed to be. I measured the radius here on this stick, and that's exactly where the inside one is, so inside point. So here we go, this is exactly where we need it. Got a super fine Sharpie. So I like this better than a string line, because I think with a string line, the pen could tilt slightly and you're not as accurate. This is a hard stick here. So this is what I propose to do. I just go like that. Look at that. Look at that. Those of you who are wondering, this is my buddy Rob. Rob's the man. PTMF. But as you can see, this is cutting really nice. So for example, look at that tiny little cut. I'm hoping that's going to stay in place, but imagine trying to do that free without the tile already set in the floor. That's why I like this method a lot better. All right, got that side. Looking good, huh? Looking good. Looking good, man. Let's see. So, let's go do this here. Look at that. Beautiful.
Old world craftsmanship.
Yeah, I'm telling you. How to tile like a pro. Our motto is, anyone can set tile. Learn to do it like a pro. You know how hard it would have been if we tried to cut all these pieces without the tile being set and just, oh my gosh, dude, no way. So through experience.
How do you cut this tile without the, look at that cut.
Yeah, it would be a nightmare. But I've seen guys do it before and I laugh. This is gonna be so smooth, so nice. All right, so there we go. So now, pop this guy out. Should be right on the money, yep, right, perfect. So now, this is my next mark here. All right, so basically, I had to do a voiceover here because my buddy Rob got a phone call and was talking right next to me pretty loud, so didn't want you to have to hear his whole conversation. But I basically right here just measured the distance that we need for the mosaic to fit and drilled a hole in there for the Sharpie, double checking to make sure it's the right size that we need. And I'm gonna put the Sharpie in there and I'm gonna go ahead and trace the whole outer rim of that radius there so we could get ready. After I trace the whole thing, we'll go ahead and get ready to start grinding it. All right, so there it is. It's marked out. Gonna get ready to start cutting it. The trick is just to keep this steady. Pretend this vacuum is like mounted to it. Keep it as one. That way it just puts your hand at ease, at rest. If your hand starts tilting, that's what's gonna cause it to chip. So keep your hand steady, let it be at rest. The hardest part is once you first initially sink down, just don't put much pressure, just let it kind of sink down into the tile. Once it's in, then you could just slightly push it forward. So let's check it out. Okay, well, as you can see, I got it all cut out. There is the gap for the mosaic pattern is already cut all around. So now what you got to do, next part, is we're just going to get a hammer and take those pieces out. So let's do that. So here we go. Let's just get, once you get under it, you're pretty good. That's good. Now they got one broken. You can just pop under it. We'll tell you what that means on a special exclusive video. So luckily, the mosaic I'm putting in is a lot thinner than this tile. So it's gonna help to make it a lot easier, and it's gonna help me not have to tear out this thin set. Which normally, if the other mosaic is thicker than this, well, now I got to grind this down or take it out, which is just a lot more work and a mess. But sometimes things work in your favor, and the new tile is thinner than this, so looks like if I just get it smooth like that, we should be good to go. Let's check it out. All right, see, comes out really nice. Luckily, it's porcelain. Porcelain's thick tile, really dense tile. So if you just hit it a couple places, breaks bond, comes out in one piece. If it was a different tile, it would sometimes crumble, especially stone, saltio, nasty. But this is porcelain, so it's coming out really nice. What you want to do is you get, this is what do they call it? Variable speed grinder. This is a cool, I love the Velcro. You switch pads. This is a 100 grit pad. So here's a raw edge that's just chiseled with that grinder blade. And then we're going to sand it right here. Look at that, nice and smooth. So now it's got a nice little edge. Got a nice little edge, but it does smooth it out. You can see this one's smoothed out there. I like to use this little multi-tool. Has this cool attachment you can put on. It's grinding, flat grinding. It's made for thin set grout carbide. So it's made of carbide. All right, so I'll show you how to take it off. Let me put my mask on because it gets a little dusty. Not too much though. So here you go. You see that bump? It's right where the grout joints were on this tile. So what I want to do is right where this grout joint was on the tile, I want to flatten it out so it doesn't mess with my install. You just grab this, put a little bit of pressure, and it'll smooth it out really nice. Not too much dust. Oh, found my little tile corner. All right, so there it is, nice and smooth. Check it out. So wherever you see little bumps where the joints were, smooths it out, gets it nice and flat. Don't need it everywhere, just wherever the joints were. It's a good place to check. So now we are ready. It should be pretty flat. Should be ready to go. This is the Mosaic. Look at this. Comes all the way from Beirut, Lebanon, in a big roll. Really nice. Let's see how it turns. That's my biggest. Actually, I think I could see a direction it turns in. It looks like it goes this way. Let's check it out. Oh, it's perfect. It does have a little radius to it. Yeah, it's perfect. I noticed it with my eye when I was unraveling it. So that's great. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and cut it real quick. Okay, so my mic actually broke. First YouTube video, I got a cheaper mic. It didn't really work out too well. I got a better mic since then, so I'm just gonna do a voiceover to finish this video up. I already cut it. You can see it's a little lower than the porcelain flooring, which I kind of knew. So what I'm gonna do is show you how to remedy that. The quickest, best way I know how to do it. You want to grab a stick. That's a float strip I'm using there. You can use a piece of hardy backer. It works really well too. And you want to just put it next to whatever you're going to inset. And there I'm tracing it to get the thickness of the tile. And then we're just going to cut the mark there. But notice you want to cut inside the line, meaning you want the depth to not be thicker than the tile. So I'm gonna, after I cut it, I'm gonna put the stick and kind of run it against that Mosaic and make sure it doesn't pass it, because if it passes it, it's gonna be too low and you don't want that. So I'm rubbing it there and you can see it doesn't pass the tile. So that's what you want. You want it to hit the tile a little bit, maybe an 1/8 inch, 1/16, depending on the tile there. But you want to hit it there because when we fill it with mud and screed it like that, it's going to be the perfect way to install it. You notice there, I always hit it with a sponge to get the little dry, fine dust off, just a damp sponge. Then you want to grab your thin set and go ahead and burn coat it in there. Burn coat is where you grab the edge and you just kind of push it down real tight to make sure it's going to stick to the floor. Then you can go ahead and fill it with a thicker mud, put a lot more mud on there. And what you want to do here is you want to make sure it's basically, I try to go flush with the existing flooring, because you want to be able to have it full enough that when you rot it off, it's gonna rot it off clean. I always dip whatever I'm using in water because it keeps the thin set from sticking. So here I have the water. I dip the stick in water. I'm screeding it off there, and you can already see it's a nice screed. I take off the excess, maybe hit it with a sponge again, get it nice and so the mud don't stick to it. And then we go ahead and just rest it. So notice the stick has to be bigger than the opening so that it overhangs. I always make it a little bit smaller than the opening, and I just hit the corner again like I did there to get it cleaner. That way I don't never have a problem with it fitting. So there we go. We just keep screeding it off like that. You can see that's the perfect bed for a thin set bed for that Mosaic. Now this one's a little trickier because since the Mosaic's in one piece, I kind of have to move fast here to make sure I got to literally fill that whole radius with thin set quickly, because I need to set the Mosaic down, embed it into that fresh. But the key that I do want to point out, as you can see us begin to install the Mosaic, the key to doing this right is how you mark that wooden jig or whatever you make it out of. Because like I said, if you put that jig that's cut and you try to hit the tile and it goes over the tile, well, then right here in this process, as we're sticking it down, it's going to sink lower than the tile. And you don't want that. You want it to hit the tile, because that means it's going to be a little thicker, and then you're going to be able to push it down like I'm doing right here. So the thin set's a little high, so if you stick the Mosaic, it's going to be a little bit proud of the rest of the floor. Then I'm grabbing here a float that's reaches the whole distance of that Mosaic, and you just flatten it out. So now and that's what makes it bond, is because the thin set was a little proud. Now I'm embedding it and pushing it down just slightly, not too much. You're gonna have thin set spooging all over the place. So the thickness of that little jig is the trick. And there you have it, guys. The Mosaic is installed, really nice, cut into that floor, perfectly flush, beautiful cuts. Now here's just a couple photos you can see of it grouted and done. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it taught you something, maybe gave you some insight on how to do some of your projects. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments. Make sure you like and subscribe if you like videos like this. We got lots more to come. Take care. Have a good day. Bye.